All right, so here at Maule in Moultrie, Georgia, they're having their, how many annual is this now?
10th annual.
10th annual Maule.
Maule and All Fly-In.
Maule and All Fly-In.
Yep.
Which, I know this isn't experimental. Give me a second. Maule is the very, very first aircraft that I flew in. It's the aircraft that introduced me into aviation back when I was 15 years old. So I still have to tie that into what I'm doing every now and then, because it really was the start of my aviation career. So Brent, introduce yourself quickly and we'll go to some questions.
All right, I'm Brent Maule. I'm the president of Maule Air Incorporated and third generation Maule builder. The company was started by my grandparents, Beatty and June Maule, and I've worked here full time since 1996.
The last time I was here, which I think has been about 2 years as far as putting stuff on camera, you mentioned there's a few changes, things that you've adopted, whether it was into the interior of the plane or whatnot. What have some changes have come about in Maule in the last couple years?
We're continually improving the aircraft, making modifications to make it more usable for different missions. So one thing we came up with is a seaplane door that we now have certified on the aircraft. So instead of the door opening forward on a hinge like a standard door would, this one actually lifts up and out of the way in a gull wing style. It's hydraulically actuated, and it takes the whole door out of your way, so it makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the aircraft as well.
When you're trying to balance on a float.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. And then there's some other interior piece that you guys had added that was...
We've come up with a split seat for the rear.
Okay.
So if you want to have 3 people in the aircraft and be able to carry long objects, you can just take out half of the seat, rather than if you need to carry long objects that are maybe kind of bulky, having to take out the whole rear seat and losing a space for a passenger. You can just take out half the seat. You could put a litter in there for emergency situations. It's got a lot of uses.
So just be a little bit more versatile for not only backcountry use, but many other uses.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome,
Yes.
Awesome. So what is the current offerings? I flew first in an MX-7 when I was probably still the same height, just skinnier, when I was 15. That was an MX-7. What are the different lineups for Maule today?
Well, we've got the MX-7 still. We make the MX-7 180B. That's our entry-level model. It's a great airplane. I love flying that airplane. It's just a lot of fun, real easy to handle. That's an oleo strut gear model. Then we have a spring gear version of that, and then a nose wheel version of that.
Okay.
Nose wheel is very popular with flight schools and any nose wheel application. Then from there you would move up into the M7, and we make quite a few varieties of M7. We have 3 engine offerings between the carbureted 0540 from Lycoming, and then 2 versions of the IO 540. 260 horse and a 235 horse, and we've got a couple of wing options as well as on that. And then we have our M9 model, which is a spring aluminum landing gear model. We have 3 engine offerings on that, the 235 carbureted, 235 injected, and a 260 injected. And that aircraft goes from 2,500 pounds gross weight to 2,800 pounds gross weight.
So a significant increase in the useful load on that. Mm-hmm. What do you find are maybe more the more popular ones, especially that STOL and backcountry, which Maule is kind of like the king of STOL. It's been around for forever. Mm-hmm. But right now, today, what is the more popular model for? The most popular model
is the original M7. We've brought it back into production, and it's got our longest wing with 33-foot 8-inch wingspan. The one that we've sold a lot into Alaska is this just a straight M7 235 model, and it's got a 126-inch long flap and a 53-inch aileron, so it's got a huge flap.
Huge.
And it'll take off and land very short.
Nice, nice. Yeah, one of the things that really stuck in my mind flying this aircraft for the first time, not only is my first airplane experience, but climbing into it as a kid, and just that stance. You're already kind of set back in your seat, like ready to take off on a rocket ship or something like that, was really impressive. And then, the flight characteristics were just, and still are, amazing. So, what else is going on here at Maule that you wanted to introduce here pretty soon of training?
Yes, we're going to have an AMP school. here at Maule, and we're working with Thomas University, and we put together an A&P school. It started with a conversation, and now it's a reality.
Awesome.
So we're going to be training A&Ps, and we're looking forward to some great things.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, because everybody talks about the pilot shortage, but equally in need is the mechanics to work on the aircraft to keep the airplanes flying for the pilots when there's no longer a pilot shortage. So let's dive into that next. I'm at the airport a lot more these days editing, and walking out of the FBO out onto the ramp, it's bright. So I've been wearing my Flying Eyes eyewear a lot more these days. They're lightweight, extremely comfortable, flexible, and have micro-thin temples that slip under your headsets. You like saving money? Get 10% off right now by using the code EXPERIMENTAL. Check out the links below. We are partnering with great companies like Dynon Avionics at Dynon.com, Airtech Coatings at AirTechCoatings.com, Clemens Insurance at ClemensInsurance.net, The Aviators Clinic at AviatorsClinic.com, Diamond Doors at DiamondDoors.com, Flying Eyes at FlyingEyesOptics.com, Foxtrot 95 Calhoun County Airport at FlyFoxtrot95.com. Take a moment to go visit their websites at the links found below in the description of this video. And visit our website at ExperimentalAircraftChannel.com for events, our video library arranged in easy-to-find playlists on specific topics, affiliate products, aviation merchandise, and so much more. All right, so Stephen, go ahead and introduce yourself and who you are and where you're from.
Sure, I'm Stephen Ferguson with Thomas University. I'm Vice President of Military Veterans and Corporate Relations.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm very happy to hear that somebody else is diving in to try to grow the support of aviation and at the builder/mechanical level. So what does the program look like? I've heard of several different ones that are like a very, very short, I think what you call fast track, I guess, and the ones that are more typical of like a 24 months to 36 month. So where is this stand?
Our program will be approximately 18 months. Okay. And depending on the level of and background in terms of understanding of aviation's mechanics, it may be even shorter than that. Our goal is to then allow those with the A&P, if they would like to proceed, to transfer into our bachelor's degree in aviation's quality management.
Nice. Okay. And do you have, I assume, a set start? In other words, do you start in the airframe and then the mechanical, or do you start in the engine and then airframe, or how do you work that?
I'm not particularly sure about that piece of it yet.
Okay.
Yes. But from what I understand is that there will be both a blend of on-the-job training as well as some written in-seat training. We will have all of our classes will be housed here at Maule. I'm very excited. We're working with several A&P and subject matter experts to finalize the curriculum with the hope of running our first cohort in the summer of 2023.
So being that this is going to be based on the Maule field here, and they're doing production, the class will have a chance to actually work on some of the stuff at Maule, or have engines and mock-up engines and airframes set aside specifically for that purpose?
It's a little bit of both. I think the written part will take place in one of the back hangars. Okay. And in terms of the on-the-job, they'll work with Brent and his team on some of the production that he's currently working on.
Nice. And being that we're in Georgia here, and you're based in Georgia, do you need to be a Georgia resident to take advantage of this, or are you going to?
Absolutely not. We're already receiving interest from all over, throughout Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. We're in talks with some of the surrounding military installations to send some of their service members over to take the course as well.
Nice, nice. So if somebody isn't based here and can commute, is there things in the works to have students stay within a general close proximity to the airport?
We in addition to our main campus where we have dormitories and apartments, there's opportunities here in Moultrie and some of these surrounding areas for those that need residence while they're in the program.
Gotcha. Now, I haven't gone through an A&P course. I've thought about it, and I've kind of missed the boat. I feel I wish I would have done that early on, because it's a good thing to have, even if you're not doing it as a profession. Just as an aircraft owner, it would be good to have. But I know the biggest thing with being an A&P is not only the education and the experience, but also the tools. So what does that look like, at least at the start level, for a student to acquire at least the basic tools to get going in this?
Well, as part of the program and the funding that we received, we will be providing a lot of that.
Okay.
The startup materials, in addition to the written and the tools that they will need that will be part of their overall tuition package.
Okay, and then as you're a student there and learning, I would assume you give them some type of like pick list of tools that you need to start with once you graduate to get into the field.
Correct, that is correct.
Okay. Is there any particular brand of, I know people aren't buying Harbor Freight tools for
I'll
everything.
default to the subject matter expert on the brand there.
Not any particular brand. I mean, we don't choose.
Not
a
necessarily,
particular
just
brand.
whatever works. I know there's some specific, very aviation specific tools.
Some things you have to
you
buy
have to
that-
buy. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. So when does class start? When does the first semester?
We're looking at summer 2023.
Nice.
We're building the curriculum now, working with a subject matter expert to ensure that we've checked all the boxes for the FAA, and we'll be marketing for our first course here at Maule.
Awesome. So a little bit less than a year.
A little bit less than a year.
Right here.
Right
to
here.
start training students for the future in aviation.
Absolutely.
Well,
Very
very happy
excited.
to hear it. Very happy to hear that. If somebody wanted to inquire now and start working towards that, how can they learn more about the program and get in touch with you to get on the
Sure,
roster?
they can contact us through our website at thomasu.edu or through Brent Maule here at Maule Air, and he would connect the student up, and I'll help them get through the application process and all the information they'll need to get started.
Perfect.